All right, welcome back to the channel. So Mike Tyson talks about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and calls him the greatest fighter in the last 100 years. Let's talk about what doesn't make any sense, Mike. Doesn't make any sense. But let's go through what Mike Tyson has to say about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and give my opinion about it in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So Iron Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. have never known them to be particularly close with one another. In fact, Floyd Mayweather Jr. spent a good amount of the early portion of his career, I think, pretty jealous of Mike Tyson and the fame and accolades that that Mike Tyson had. He wanted to emulate him and become, the first little guy to get as big as Mike Tyson. Obviously, he made it in a lot of ways. Monetarily, he made it. Name recognition, he made it. So Mike Tyson is now saying that he believes that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the greatest fighter in 100 years. Now, if we know Mike Tyson, we actually had a really good conversation this weekend on OG Boxing Talk about Mike Tyson and all the talk about Mike Tyson returning. And it seems as if, I've been taking it as if it's a bit of a joke or a bit of a misdirection, that he might be, trying to, make sure that his name is out in the forefront because of other type of things he has going on, like his cannabis farm in Las Vegas or different things that he might be doing. So using the opportunity to talk about a comeback, whether it's a charity or otherwise, to kind of boost that. Haven't really taken that serious, but there's a lot of people who are taking it serious, and it is pushing, and quite honestly, the way that he is behaving and talking, it sounds as if this is something that very well could happen. And so Mike Tyson's name it's in the media a lot. One of the interviews that he gave, he said that he believed that Floyd Mayweather Jr. was the greatest fighter in the last 100 years. Now, the thing about Mike Tyson is I don't know if exaggerated is quite the word, or whether he is just, I'll use the colloquial phrase. He's a little extra. He's a little extra with his stuff, right? So Floyd Mayweather Jr., to analyze whether or not that's the case, man, there's a lot of people that really ride with Floyd Mayweather Jr., think that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the best fighter, best fighter of all time. Put him ahead of everybody in the history of boxing as far as, what he can do in the ring. Under the, I guess the primary reason for it being is that he never lost, right? But my thing is that if you fight long enough, if you compete long enough, you're going to lose. And most likely, if you have not lost, that's probably because you've not pushed yourself you've never pushed yourself to your absolute limit. Because once you push yourself to your absolute limit and you do that, especially if you do that more than one time, man, you can take a loss. Or if you get close enough to it, you can have a bad night. Floyd Mayweather Jr. in the last portion of his career made it a point of focus in his career not to be undefeated. To be undefeated, to get to Rocky Marciano, to the quote unquote record that Rocky Marciano had. And I say quote unquote because there's a lot of people, there's not a lot, but there are people that got to 50-0. Sugar Ray Robinson got to 50-0, well over 50-0. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. got to well over 50 in a row. It's just that they kept fighting. And, sooner or later you keep fighting, you're going to lose. If Floyd kept fighting right now, hey, Floyd would lose. But there are a lot of people out there that just do not believe that is possible for Floyd Mayweather Jr. I am not one of those people. I think that he's the best fighter of the century. I think that he's the best fighter. I think he's the best fighter, most accomplished fighter of his time, in a time that he had in boxing. But as far as the greatest in the last 100 years, that falls on its face just off the number that Mike Tyson gave. And let me tell you, why I say that. If you say that he's the greatest fighter in the last 100 years, one of two things happens. Either you don't know any of the fighters that took place that fought more than 100 years from now, or that there was somebody that was greater than Floyd Mayweather Jr. 100 years ago. So the year right now is 2020. 100 years ago was 1920. So what fighter could Mike Tyson be talking about when he refers to Floyd Mayweather? Who then would be greater than Floyd Mayweather Jr. if there's nobody that is greater in the last 100 years? Because in the last 100 years, you bring in people like Muhammad Ali, you bring in Sugar Ray Robinson, obviously Sugar Ray Leonard. You bring in pretty much every major fighter that your average boxing fan has heard of. When you're talking about before 1920, then you're talking about guys like Jack Johnson. You're talking about Sam Langford. You're talking about, Joe Jeanette and Joe Gans. You're talking about, Tommy Burns and Gentleman Jim Corbett and those type of guys. Not James J. Braddock is in the 30s. So, the time frame that he used for me just kind of threw me off and was like, nah, I think Mike Tyson, if you ask Mike Tyson that question in another 2 weeks and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not a member, is not a part of that conversation, I don't think that Mike Tyson would say that twice. I don't think he would say it twice. I think if you said, well, what do you think about Muhammad Ali? Oh, Muhammad Ali is the greatest fighter of all time. Oh, hey, Mike Tyson, what do you think about Sugar Ray Robinson? Oh, man, he's the greatest fighter of all time. That's what I think Mike Tyson is doing with that type of stuff. It's like, I don't know if he's, well, I do know. First and foremost, I do know that he's been puffing on something most of the time. Most of the time, somebody puts a mic in front of him and asks the question. I have actually had some friends that were in a meeting with him. In, I won't say the name of the city that he had a meeting in because I don't want to put anybody on blast. But it has a major downtown, and he went to go see somebody where the conversation was revolving around, I do believe, investment in a project that he's working with the team on, right? And when he walked in the room, they were like, dang, it smelled like a forest when he walked in the door. So, and Mike ain't playing with the lightweight stuff. So more than likely, man, Mike saying that isn't something that he seriously believes or that he gave much thought to. More than likely, what he said was just a result of somebody asking him about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and then him giving what is a very polite answer. Now, that is not to say, and I have to do this with Mike Tyson. I have to do this with things about Floyd Mayweather Jr. like I have to say these things about Terrence Crawford. Just because I'm telling you that I do not believe that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the greatest fighter in the last 100 years, or even, in my opinion, the greatest fighter in the last 50 years. Nor do I maybe is his peak of fighting ability. I don't think that he's the greatest fighter in the last 25 years. Yeah, I don't think he's the greatest fighter in the last 25 years. At the absolute peak of his skills. Now, if you're talking about the amount of money that he makes and all that, then hey, yeah, clearly, that could be considered that situation as well. But the problem with counting his money and saying that that's the reason why he's the greatest is then you got to line up everybody based on the money that they've earned. And that would make Manny Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez, two of the 10 greatest fighters ever to walk into a ring. Canelo Alvarez and Manny Pacquiao. If you think that it's his money, that it's the money and the notoriety that makes him great, then you have to put Manny Pacquiao, and you're just looking at the dollar values of that they've earned, right? Then you have to put Manny Pacquiao over Muhammad Ali. You got to put Manny Pacquiao over Joe Louis. And you got to put Manny Pacquiao ahead of Sugar Ray Robinson. Those type of things just, for me, those type of things just don't work. But, hey, man, I appreciate Mike Tyson being, getting out there, seeming like he's saying nice things about Floyd Mayweather Jr. You also had Floyd Mayweather Jr. say some nice things about Deontay Wilder. So, hey, I'll take it, but I just don't buy it. Anyway, it is what it is. And with that, let me know what you think in the comment section. And I'm out. Peace.